Don't do this if you're looking for a girl. Okay, brothers. I'm gonna share the most embarrassing and enlightening few months of my life. Hopefully, it saves one of you from making the same mistake I did. TLDR, if you're looking for a girl, don't become a walking stereotype. It started with a breakup. Isn't that always how these stories begin? She said I lacked ambition, and didn't make her feel special anymore. Oof. I spiraled. Started watching all those alpha male YouTubers who wear sunglasses indoors and talk like they're narrating a protein bar commercial. You know the type. Anyway, I decided if I wanted to win at dating, I had to change everything. First mistake, I stopped being me. I deleted all my old playlists. Replaced them with grind set motivation podcasts. My Spotify Wrapped went from indie rock and lofi to top 50 male dominance tracks. I'm not joking, that playlist exists. I ditched my graphic tees and hoodies for tight polos and cologne that could resurrect the dead. I even made a daily affirmation mirror. It said, "You are the prize." In all caps. In red Sharpie. I told myself I was becoming high value. In reality, I was turning into the human version of a LinkedIn cold DM. But I thought I was thriving. I posted selfies flexing in the gym mirror with captions like "Trust the process," and followed every girl with a yoga mat in her profile pic. I didn't realize the crash was coming. Until I went on that date. Her name was Mia. We met on Hinge. She had a bio that said, "Likes bad jokes and soft boys." I ignored that because my brain was too full of never show weakness slogans. I showed up to the bar in a blazer. She wore overalls. I complimented her smile like it was a TED Talk opening. She blinked. I asked her what her 5-year plan was. She said, finish this cider? Halfway through the date, I called the waiter champ. She excused herself to the bathroom and never came back. I waited 27 minutes. I drank both ciders. I walked home and didn't take off my blazer. I slept in it. That night, I stared at my "You are the prize" mirror and wiped it down with a wet sock. Never felt more like a loser. Bro. This hit me hard. I did the same thing after my last breakup, right down to the alpha nonsense. I even spent $300 on a course called Attraction Blueprint, where the guy told us to bark at women in clubs to assert dominance. I barked once. At a girl ordering mozzarella sticks. She screamed. I got kicked out. Point is, when you fake confidence, you attract people who like the mask, not you. And when that mask slips, it always does, they're gone. Being yourself sounds cheesy, but it's the one thing that's sustainable long-term. Glad you're sharing this. So after the Mia incident, I did what any emotionally unbalanced man would do. I doubled down. I told myself she just didn't get me. That I needed higher quality girls. That I was too high value for her. Yeah. My ego was doing backflips to avoid the truth. I had turned into a dating app red flag with a pulse. Then, I made the worst decision of all. I joined the group chat. It was called Men Who Win. I found it through a guy on Instagram who sold $49.99 ebooks with titles like "Text Like a King" and "How to Make Her Obsessed with You in 3 Steps. Step 3 will ruin her life." Inside the group were 117 dudes and one admin named Coach Tyler. Tyler drove a leased Audi and had a profile pic of himself in front of a private jet that I'm 90% sure was parked permanently at a museum. This chat was pure chaos. Every day was screenshots of Tinder convos where the guys were trying to neg her into submission, or whatever new trick Tyler cooked up. One guy said he called a girl emotionally mid because she ordered a Sprite. The others sent fire emojis. I started calling it the Brain Rot Dojo. But I stayed. I wanted to belong. I wanted results. One day Tyler dropped a mission. Friday night. Cold approach. No excuses. You will go out. You will get at least 3 numbers. Winners report back. Losers do push-ups and rethink life. Yeah. So I went. Hit up this bougie rooftop bar with my buddy Jared. We wore suits. Everyone else was in jeans and t-shirts. We looked like 2 groomsmen who got stood up at their own wedding. First girl I talked to was clearly just trying to enjoy her drink. I opened with, "Hey, you look like you read poetry in graveyards." She blinked twice and said, "I'm waiting for my boyfriend." Smooth. Girl number 2 laughed when I asked if she liked emotionally complex men. Girl number 3 was too nice to roast me and gave me her LinkedIn. I left with one connection request and a burning hole in my dignity. When I posted my results in the group chat, Tyler replied, "You need to level up your masculine frame, brother." I left the group the next day, but not before I downloaded the full text game archives. Gotta keep that cringe for the memoirs. Dude. I was in a similar Telegram group. Some of the guys were straight-up cult followers. One guy live-streamed himself getting rejected 3 times in a row, and Tyler's response was, "You need to get more jacked." Like, bro, this isn't Pokemon. Rejection isn't fixed with XP points. Proud of you for leaving. Those groups thrive off your insecurity. The minute you find your self-worth, they lose a customer. Funny how that works. So, I'm out of the alpha cult, licking my wounds, avoiding any app that involves swiping. I decide, maybe I just need to be real. Vulnerable. Chill. Right? So what's the move? Host a date night at my apartment. Romantic. Intimate. Controlled environment. What could go wrong? Well, buckle up. I met this girl, Lana, through a mutual friend. She was into plants, photography, and vintage horror movies. We chatted a bit, and it felt easy. Like, not a chess match. She laughed at my dumb jokes. She called my hoodie cozy core. That's a win, right? So I invite her over for homemade spaghetti and a horror flick. I go all in. Bought candles. Not like normal ones. The big pillar kind that make you feel like you're in a cathedral or summoning a demon. Bought fancy pasta. Real Parmesan. Not the shaky cheese. Even Googled how to properly plate spaghetti for date. Bro, I was serious. She arrives. I open the door wearing a black turtleneck. Why? I don't know. I was feeling myself. Lana walks in, holding a six-pack and a big smile. She's wearing an oversized flannel jeans, and looks like she's not trying at all. Effortless. I immediately feel like I'm overdressed for a poetry slam. Dinner starts okay. We talk. We eat. She compliments the sauce. I compliment her compliment. We start watching The Thing. Classic. Everything's fine. Until the spider incident. I see something move on the ceiling. Big. Brown. 8 legs. That MF was doing parkour above us. I try to ignore it. I really do. But then it drops. Mid-air. Lands on the floor like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. Lana screams. I scream louder. Like, embarrassing loud. High-pitched. I jump on the couch and knock over a candle. Wax flies. Pasta flies. My turtleneck is now wearing spaghetti. I grab a broom. Lana grabs a beer can. We spend 5 minutes trying to corner this demon spider while stepping over marinara splatter like it's a crime scene. Finally, she squishes it with my shoe. My shoe. Silence. We stare at each other. I say, "So, dessert?" She bursts out laughing. Like, full snort laugh. I laugh too. It was chaotic, but weirdly fun. Then she says, "Hey, I like you. But you're trying so hard." And I'm like, "Trying hard to what?" And she goes, "To be perfect. You don't have to be. Just be the guy who made bomb pasta and screamed at a spider like a Victorian maiden." I stared at her, spaghetti clinging to my sleeve, and said, "Deal." She kissed me on the cheek before she left. Told me to text her sometime. I did. But we never really went anywhere after that. Which is okay. Not every story ends in love. Sometimes, you just learn that trying to control every moment so you can win the girl? That's exactly what loses her. This gave me flashbacks. I once tried to impress a guy by making homemade sushi. I had never made sushi in my life. Ended up gluing seaweed to my countertops with rice. Dude shows up, sees the chaos, and says, "Want to just order pizza and watch cartoons?" Reader, I married him. The moral is, chaos is okay. People like people, not performances. Your story's gold. Hope you kept the turtleneck as a battle trophy. So after the great spaghetti incident, I decide to ditch the alpha persona and the try-hard romantic energy. I'm done pretending. Done chasing. It's time to just be myself. Small problem. I had no idea who myself even was anymore. Think about it. For months, I was living off internet advice. Before that, I was a relationship chameleon. I liked whatever she liked. I watched Emily in Paris unironically and pretended to enjoy oat milk. So who the hell was I? In a mild identity crisis, and maybe 3 IPAs deep, I made a list. I called it Things That Make Me Me. Likes indie bands no one's heard of. Makes a mean grilled cheese. Hates olives with a passion. Once cried during Paddington 2. Thinks cargo shorts deserve a comeback. Gets nervous around people who say let that sink in. It was a mess. But it was honest. So I started just showing up as that guy. Oliveless, emotionally open, questionable fashion choices and all. That's when I met Erin. She wasn't like the other girls I dated. She had a sleeve tattoo of cartoon ghosts and worked at a board game cafe. Our first convo was over Cards Against Humanity and a shared hatred for cilantro. I didn't do any moves. No mirror affirmations. No mental checklists. Just vibed. I told her Paddington 2 wrecked me. She said she bawled during a toilet paper commercial once. We laughed. She said I felt easy to be around. It felt good. So we hang out a few more times. Watch horror movies. She drags me to a local band show. We get tipsy on weirdly named craft beers like Pineapple Regret and Moose Juice. One night, while walking her home, we pass a group of guys catcalling someone across the street. Erin looks uncomfortable. I freeze. My instinct is to keep walking. But something feels off. So I turn to her and ask, "Want me to say something?" She looks at me and goes, "No. But thanks for asking." That moment? Weirdly huge. It wasn't about being tough or alpha or performative. It was about being present. Listening. Respecting. Just being there, without needing to prove anything. We hugged goodnight. No kiss. No rush. Just real. I felt more me in that moment than I had in months. This post. This. I feel like we don't talk enough about the now what phase after you drop the persona. It's terrifying. You strip off the layers and realize you've been performing for so long, you forgot your lines. But rediscovering yourself, even if it starts with grilled cheese and weird beers, is so worth it. Proud of you for staying soft in a world that tries to harden you. Paddington would be proud too.